I'm talking about you in a video. I'm making a video just about you. Look at the level of relaxation. I'd love to experience this every once in a while. She loves the camera. No. You booped it. You booped it again. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel and welcome to the video. My name is Steven and I am a third year dental student. Today I am talking about something very near and dear to my heart, and that is my dog Daisy. Every time. She always starts drinking water right when I start filming. If you've been following the channel for a while, you might recall that I was lucky enough to become a dog dad this summer, a few months ago, when Daisy came into my life and the opportunity presented itself to finally get a dog. I've been a dog lover for my entire life. I just never thought that in dental school I would get a dog because of the responsibility that actually exists in owning a dog, especially a puppy. So over these past couple of months, as Daisy has grown and matured and I have started and gotten into my D3 year, I've learned a lot about the process of having a puppy and also what it's like in dental school. So that's what I'm gonna be talking about today. If you enjoyed this video and you wanna learn more about the dental school experience, make sure you like it to let me know, and also subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything that I release in the future. But you know what's better than not missing anything that I release in the future? PetCube makes the world's best cameras designed for pet parents like me. Okay, so I've been using the PetCube Bites 2 Lite camera for a couple of months now. And this thing has a full 1080p HD camera that live streams Daisy's activity directly to my iPhone. It also has two-way audio so that I can hear her in her crate, or she can hear me if I want her to. The best part about the PetCube Bites 2 Lite, and I mean the best, is that the Bites 2 Lite has a treat dispenser which allows me to fling treats to Daisy while I'm away. All I have to do this is log on to the PetCube app, look at Daisy's sweet and rapidly growing face, and shower her with treats that make her healthy and happy. Also, side note, rewarding your puppy with treats while they're in their crate and behaving is a great way to make them a lot more comfortable with the crate, and that makes crate training just a little bit easier for you. PetCube can alert you of any potentially dangerous activity that is happening in your home while you are away. Also importantly, you can save special video and photo moments of your pet being its cute self. PetCube sells a variety of cameras like this, the PetCube Bites 2 Lite, on their website. If you're looking to monitor your pet while you're away, this is the absolute best option for you, and they have plenty of different products to choose from. If you decide you want to pick up one of those products, why don't you take a couple extra dollars off of your purchase by using the code StevenPRay5 for 5% off site-wide. Do not ever worry about your pet being home alone again. Thank you so much to PetCube for supporting the channel, and now back to the video. Check this video out right here if you're interested in the story of how I got Daisy. It's a pretty interesting one, but she came into my life and it's been a wonderful blessing. It's also been a great responsibility, as I assumed it would be. I guess as a backstory, I love dogs. I always have. I've especially loved dogs even more since I started dating my girlfriend, who's a huge dog lover. Many years ago when we started dating, we basically talked only about dogs for a while. That was like the majority of our conversations in the very beginning of our relationship. And she kind of instilled in me even more of an appreciation for pups than I had before. So I've always loved them and I've always wanted my own dog, but I never thought I would get one until after dental school. You know, in dental school, you have long hours of studying, long hours of lab, lecture, and eventually clinic work. And so there's this idea that maybe getting a dog is too much responsibility, especially if you're like me and you live alone. And I think having that thought is a good one. The most important thing about getting a dog is being ready to give it a good life. And if you are not ready to give a dog a good life, it is not time to get one. I guess that's the most important point that I'll make in this video. You have to be ready to take care of a dog. It's a huge responsibility. It's nothing like having a child, but it is, in a sense, somewhat like that, because you no longer live just for yourself. You're now taking care of another being that needs your attention. It doesn't need 100% of your attention, but it does need your time, your money, and your attention. So I want to get into a couple of the things that I've learned over these past few months with Daisy, and just some of the things that she has taught me and that I hoped to bring to you. The first thing that I want to talk about is obviously the finances of this. Getting a dog is not cheap. Now, if you have seen the video that I referred to earlier where I told the story of Daisy, you'll know that I got her for free. She was found on the streets roaming around with her sister, and they were really little puppies. So there was no initial investment of paying for a dog, which some people might do, especially for really desirable breeds from, reputable breeders. But quickly, the financial burden of having a puppy starts to stack up once you go to the vet for the first time. They need a big series of vaccinations in order to keep them healthy, and it's extremely important that they receive these. They're not cheap, so every time you go to the vet, you go for the first couple of weeks, you go like every couple of weeks, and they give them usually somewhere between like $90 and $150 to $200 worth of vaccinations per visit. You also have the cost of food, which I get food that's like $55 a bag, and it's a pretty big bag that lasts Daisy usually like a month and some change, I think is around that much. But then you have the cost of the crate, you have the cost of the toys, and all of the things they need to be comfortable. And most importantly, you have unexpected costs at the vet that will pop up. Things happen with puppies. There are gonna be times when they wake up and they're sick, or they have something weird going on that you can't explain, and so you want to get them checked out. And taking visits to the vet is an expensive thing. I've been very, very, very thankful that my parents agreed to help me out financially with Daisy. My mom and dad love Daisy, and they love her sister Coco, who is actually their dog, and sort of together my parents have helped me with the financial burden of Daisy. I'm keeping a list of all the expenses, and I'm gonna pay them back once I become a dentist and make a little bit of money. But it's not cheap, and sort of the next topic of the video also has to do with money. But just to finish on the financial point, if you are not financially well enough off in order to invest money in a dog, and also have money sitting around that you can put into the puppy if something goes wrong, if they get injured, if they get sick, antibiotics and things of that nature are not cheap. So if you are not ready to do it financially, don't do it. Oh, the other thing financially is actually next week she's getting spayed. So female puppies get spayed at about 6 months of age, and she's getting spayed. I don't even know what the cost of that particular procedure is gonna be, but I know it's gonna be expensive, so keep the finances in mind. The next point of this video is your living situation. Now, I live alone in my studio apartment here in Memphis, Tennessee for dental school. And so I have a nice size apartment. My apartment's very spacious, which is great. So Daisy has plenty of room in here, but at the same time, the more important aspect of my living situation is the fact that I live alone. Because I live alone and I'm in dental school, and specifically I'm basically in the clinic nowadays all day, Daisy is often left here alone in her crate, which I don't love to do, but it's necessary. For the first couple of weeks that I had Daisy in dental school, she'd be in her crate every day, and I was basically going to the clinic in the morning till about noon or just before noon, and then I was rushing home really quickly, taking her out and walking her for a second, putting her back in her crate, and going back to campus, which is thankfully only a few minutes away, so that I could be there for my 1 o'clock clinic appointment with a patient. It was very stressful to know that Daisy was home alone in her crate, and she hadn't been to the bathroom in a few hours, and she hadn't been able to move. And I did not like that. So the way that I got around that was basically finding a trainer / daycare to take Daisy to. This is the other point of the financial burden that Daisy has been. So in order to get Daisy trained in obedience training, I put her in a month-long program where it was basically Monday through Friday of training and also daycare essentially with other dogs. And that program cost $750 for the entire month. It was a wonderful program. If you're somebody that's in Memphis, Tennessee, it's Paw Paw's Pets. Just talk to Becky over there, and you can even tell her that Steven sent you. She did a fantastic job with Daisy, and Daisy is so much better behaved than she used to be just with the level 1 obedience training. And they go all the way up to, I believe, level 3, which is like service dog level training. But just getting Daisy into training and allowing her to learn how to behave on a leash specifically was great. But the part that I liked most about it was just the fact that she was actually out of the house. She was in a place with like 30 plus other dogs where she could run around and have fun and just be a puppy. And she could do that all day while I was at work in the clinic. It was honestly great, and I loved it so much that I purchased a daycare package at Pawpaw's Pets for Daisy. I think I'm spending $250 for 10 days of daycare that I can use whenever I want. And you might think like that's not a whole lot of days, but the way that it's been working out is that there's usually only like 2 days a week when I really am gonna be in clinic all day, every day, and I can't get home for her. So those would be the days of the week that I would use the days up for daycare. And then the rest of the days of the week, if I'm in the lecture or whatever, or I don't have 2 clinic appointments, I can come home at lunch and take her out and not have to worry about that. I did it today. It just requires more time and effort after I get home from my day to, you know, allow her to exercise and to get up and move around and just be a puppy and be a dog, because she needs that exercise. So the point that I was making was living situation, and I was talking about the fact that I live alone, and that's why I've had to take her to daycare and all that. So if you live with other people and they like dogs and they want to help you with that, that is a massive plus for you. If you live alone like me, you're almost certainly gonna have to find a daycare, because it's just not really, like, I don't think ethical or good to keep a dog caged up for an entire day while you're at work or at clinic, unless they're an older dog and they're allowed to roam free in the house and they can kind of like manage it that way. But even just not being able to go to the bathroom all day, I think is something that is not really fair to a dog. So have a plan if you want to get one specifically for who's going to take the puppy or the dog out during the day. So if a roommate or a significant other, whoever it is, or if it's a daycare, and like in my case, just have that planned. So the next big important note is time. And time is something that is also beneficial when you look at a daycare like I did. You know, you don't have to spend as much time with them at night because they've been playing all day. They're super, super tired when they get home from daycare. And so you don't necessarily have to worry about them. But if you're not sending your puppy to daycare, there is going to be some time that you spend, you know, trying to keep them exercised, trying to keep them entertained. Just keeping them motivated and active is really, really good and important. And that requires your time. In dental school, there are times when there's not a whole lot of free time going around. And so I think at times it can be difficult to do all the things that we do in dental school and then get home at the end of the day and have a puppy who's looking at you like, I am crazy, I have all this energy, please let me get this energy out somehow, some way. That has been an actual genuine point of stress for me, is just knowing that Daisy's at home, she's laying there all day, she can't move because she's in her crate, and I have to get home and study. I have this test coming up, so I gotta figure out how to manage both things. I guess this also plays into living alone. When you're the one person taking care of the dog, it's your responsibility to make sure that they are exercised and all of that. And so if it's just you and it's just your time, just know that there's going to be this investment of your personal effort and time, and it can be difficult from time to time. I'm using the word time a lot, especially in periods of dental school when you have a lot of tests or a lot of clinic that you're devoting yourself to, then it can be really difficult. The last point of this video that I wanted to make is actually a really positive thing. It's not necessarily something that you have to consider. And that's just how awesome it is to have a companion in a puppy. Watching a puppy grow up is really, really fun. You get to see them at this little tiny cute phase grow into, you know, a bigger face, bigger head, longer body, bigger paws, and just a dog that is now your companion and your friend, and you're gonna be there with them for their entire life. That is a really awesome thing, and it is so, so enriching in your life, and I have really appreciated it. The thing that I've loved most about Daisy is that she has caused me to become more selfless. You know, I used to get home from dental school from my long day of clinic, and I would immediately take my scrubs off and just hop in bed and just, you know, pull the covers up and like scroll around on my phone, maybe eat some snacks, just enjoy like my getting home from school. And now the first thing that I do every day when I come home is I go right to Daisy's crate, I take her out of there, and I go right back outside, whether it's hot, cold, raining. We haven't had snow yet this year, maybe we will down here in the South. Whatever it is, I'm taking her outside, we're gonna let her go to the bathroom, and then I'm usually coming back in and feeding her because she hasn't eaten and stuff. So that is not that big of a thing, but like it has caused me to become more selfless. I have to think about myself less so that she is able to live and thrive. And that is the beauty of having anything that is dependent on you. Kids are this times a million, like kids are completely dependent on you. But having a dog is a good first step in your life to become a more selfless person, someone that thinks about others more than they think about themselves. And I really have experienced that with Daisy, and it's the thing that I've appreciated most about her, other than the fact that it's just been fun to watch her grow and develop a personality. It brings me so much joy to see her sit and smile a bit with me. It's like this amazing serotonin release. And it makes me very, very happy. So I've appreciated having her, and I think no matter what stage of life you're in, you will appreciate it. I think what you should do if you're in dental school like me and you're trying to decide about whether or not you should get a puppy is you have a lot of things to consider, and it really does depend on the different factors. Are you getting an 8-week-old puppy like I did? Or are you getting, a rescue dog who is actually more well-established and maybe has some good habits that you can kind of work with? Those are questions you have to ask yourself. You also have to figure out, how much money do I have? How much time and space do I have? Do I have somewhere where I can take this dog to go to the bathroom? Like, that's a really, interesting question. I live in the city here in Memphis, and it is difficult from time to time. There's not a whole lot of grass around here because I'm in the city. So if I want to take her to a nice place like that she can run around, it's kind of difficult. And I tend to go to a couple of places that are like 10 minutes away. Consider all of the things that I've talked about, and also talk to people in your life that have dogs. Talk to your parents or your friends and just kind of see, ask them important questions about the day-to-day and just see if it's something that you can do. I will say this process gets a lot easier. Having Daisy's been tough because she's been so young. I've had to be very diligent with, how I care for her, making sure in the beginning that I was really, really aware of her bathroom schedule. I used to wake up every night in the middle of the night to take her out, and that was difficult. But at the same time, the older she gets, the more easy this process becomes. And by the time she's a year and a half, 2 years old, I think things are gonna be a lot easier than they used to be. So consider that as well, and hopefully all the things I've talked about, and probably some more that I forgot because I didn't write anything down, will help you with your decision on whether or not you will get a puppy like I did. Anyways, that's all I have for you today. I have loved having Daisy, and I plan to show you her a lot more in the future when I get back to vlogging and things. Just haven't had a whole lot of time, as I've spoken about quite a bit recently. But thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully this helped in your decision, and I've said a couple of things that help you with the process. If you have any questions about Daisy or dental school or anything else, please let me know in the comments. I'm getting back to responding to them, and I want to hear from all of you. Also, please let me know if you have ideas for the 10,000 subscriber giveaway that's going to be coming up. I'm looking for things to gift to y'all or to offer up as giveaway prizes. I want to do a big 10,000 subscriber giveaway because you only reach 10,000 subscribers on YouTube once, and I want to do it the right way. So just let me know what you think about that. And that's really around the corner. I think we're over 9,800 now, which is absolutely amazing. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you. And as I always say at the end of my videos, I will see you in the next one.